Hello everyone, this is Professor Ratajczyk sending you a very brief message about what's on the exam. Um, as I said before, you will have two entries or objects to complete on Friday. You have to do both of them, okay? Both of them. The first one contains only multiple choice and short answer questions, fill in the blanks, matching questions, things like that. The second portion is going to be Excel work, and you will have to complete Excel modeling and techniques and then come back to Blackboard to answer a series of questions, much like your homework has had, where you've gone and done some statistics or put together some information, and then you've had to come back and report on you know different statistics like the mean, max, different things, correlation, things like that. So just a quick review of what we've talked about. Remember, we talked about analytics, the different types of analytics, descriptive, predictive, and prescriptive, how they're used, what they are. Sounds like a great matching question to me. Going to data cleaning. Remember, we talked a lot about data cleaning. I had tasked you with reading these articles. Okay, we do have readings in this class, so if you have not done any of the readings, you better start cramming. That's your own fault there. As I mentioned several times in class, that I expect you're coming to class having completed the reading for the day based on the topic we've entered. That said, I've got a nice little PowerPoint here to do that. We did that exercise for homework where I even gave you the in-class practice already completed. You found errors, things like that. So don't forget how to find some errors and look for errors and identify errors. Topic 3, visual or data descriptive statistics. Right, we've done a lot of things in this chapter. Correlation plotting, we've done a histogram, we've used a lot of statistical tools, histograms. We did a lot of work with z-scores as well, daily average sales, things like that. That's coming back to you as well. Daily average sales, the opioid analysis we looked at. Think about all the statistical tools, the if statements, things like that you used out there. Think about the work we've done with the Strong app, where I've asked you to do a summary and answer some questions as well. And then we did the z-scores, trying to find outliers. I could ask you about the rule of 3, where if your z-score comes back, remember we use standard deviation, mean, and also that standardized function wrapped up there. And if anything's greater than 3 or less than equal negative, or sorry, less than -3, we have an outlier. Now, what if I were to tell you, what about the rule of 2, where your company says, yeah, instead of using that math stuff that you learned, where it says a rule of 3, what if I said rule of 2, which basically means if any numbers come back greater than 2 or less than -2, kind of thing. And then we did some data visualization where we focused on dashboards. Talked a lot about data ink ratio. Remember the lecture? We looked at bad data ink and good data ink. You had an assignment to make a heat map, daily average sales. Again, you had readings, okay? So never underestimate the fact that I give you a reading here, okay? Like I give you a reading on everything I've talked about. I even highlight the things that's very important to us. So that's your clue, right? I mean, this is a 300 level class now. You're in one of the most difficult majors that we offer in the business department. But you can see here all this dashboarding, everything I've talked about is in here. Obviously I'm not going to put in a PowerPoint paragraph after paragraph. So that's your responsibility to go through and look at things. I try my best to have a quick PowerPoint so we get to the action of the class, but you have to do some reading. This is a 300 level class. Do not underestimate that. I don't know how many more times I'll be able to say that, but again, look familiar. Should start looking familiar. I could ask you what a crosstab is. Where data goes down and goes upward too. Crosstab, down and to the right. If you didn't read through this, you're in a world of hurt. Okay, so do not rely on the fact that you had a microeconomics with me and we didn't have any homework. kind of thing to get you by, you have chosen a very good major to participate in. But that said, it's a good major for a reason. People are getting jobs for a reason because they're going through all this material and they're taking it to heart. Like, you should be going through these glossaries. And yep, I know what a bar chart is. Yep, bubble chart. Remember, we built one of those. Column chart, great. Cross tab, yep, we talked about that. Data dashboard, data inc, yep. If there's some things we didn't talk about, that's because they weren't circled or something along, or weren't to my PowerPoint. Heat map, yep. KPIs, yep. Line charts, yep. Talked about pie charts, pivot tables, scatters, spark lines. We did not talk about tree maps, but you get the idea. We talked about probably all of these except for three terms. Okay, so a good place to go. But that again means you're doing the reading, you're preparing with the reading. Okay. So back here, think about what we did here. Spent a lot of time building those dashboards. A lot of time with the dashboards. Make sure you get the quizzes done. The quizzes will be a great indicator as well of what you know. Don't wait till Thursday night, because if you wait until Thursday night, well, guess what? You're not going to have time to research the questions you got wrong. Okay? So try to take those quizzes as soon as possible. You only have one shot with them. This isn't like micro where you get unlimited. I repeat, you only get one shot with the quizzes. Okay? So we'll see you on Friday. Rocking and rolling. Have faith. You can do this. Well over 100 students, probably 200 students have done this before. They haven't had the same data set on their exam, but they've had to look at dashboards before on their exam. They've had to put in correlation. They've had to calculate coefficient, of deviation. They've had to look at coefficient of variation, whatever, right? I mean, my point is, students have gone through this before. Okay? Don't forget what I said is one of my favorite calculations in the course. That should be a clue to you. If you don't know what I'm talking about with one of my favorite things, go watch Tegrity. It's in the descriptive statistics lectures, probably the first day. But that should be a clue to you that you are not taking proper notes, because I know I spent a few moments on that. I kept it up there. I joked around and said, this is my favorite thing. You got to be taking notes in this class if you're not already doing that. Whether it's electronic notes or whatever, do not rely on remembering it after class, kind of thing. And that's why we have Tegrity too, right? So just be careful that you don't ignore Tegrity, right? My suggestion is redo your homework. Redo your homework. Do not just open up a file you did and say, oh yeah, I remember that. Oh yeah, I remember doing that. No, redo your work. You probably should spend 3 hours on Thursday or even tonight redoing your work, especially in the statistics one. So topic 3 there. Spend a lot of time in topic 3. That's my suggestion. Spend a lot of time there, then this stuff gets easier as well because you keep practicing your Excel work. So, all right, that's what I got.